Are you ready to revolutionize your financial future? Have you ever wondered why some people seem to magnetize money while others remain stuck in a perpetual cycle of frustration and scarcity? Today, we're going to peel back the layers on Jim Rohn's timeless money blueprint, revealing a set of principles so potent that they've helped shape millionaires across the globe for decades. Not only will these insights equip you for wealth, but they will also shift your mindset, spark lasting motivation, and pave the way for real change. And here's the best part. We're focusing on 5 powerful ways to get rich in 2025, incorporating modern twists on Rohn's ideas to account for the evolving financial landscape. If you're curious, excited, or even a bit skeptical, don't go anywhere. In the next few minutes, we'll journey together through life-altering concepts that just might redefine everything you thought you knew about money, success, and your own potential. Money, for better or worse, touches every corner of our lives. It influences where we live, how we spend our days, and the amount of freedom we feel in deciding our own destiny. When Jim Rohn famously said, "Your income seldom exceeds your personal development," he wasn't just quoting an inspirational poster slogan. He was issuing a challenge to anyone who dared to dream bigger. Personal development, in Rohn's blueprint, is the not-so-secret ingredient in achieving financial success. The deeper you dive into honing your mindset, habits, and daily attitudes, the more primed you become to attract wealth. But let's face it, so many of us get stuck in the dream phase. We fantasize about luxurious homes, lavish vacations, and complete freedom from the daily grind. Yet we rarely craft a solid plan. That's why this video is crucial. Right here, right now, you're going to learn to turn daydreams into strategies, and strategies into unstoppable momentum that extends all the way to 2025 and beyond. Before we delve into specifics, let's talk about the emotional barriers that keep people from leveling up financially. Sometimes it's the fear of failure, a relentless internal voice whispering that you're not good enough or not deserving of abundance. Other times, it's guilt over wanting more, as if chasing prosperity is inherently selfish. Jim Rohn taught that these barriers are illusions, mere shadows that vanish under the bright light of consistent self-improvement. Whether you're looking to break free from a suffocating 9-to-5 job, launch your first business, or simply cultivate a more robust financial portfolio, dismantling those emotional blockades is step 1. So, as we embark on this odyssey, keep an open mind. Instead of labeling your limitations as facts, consider them momentary states that can shift the second you decide to recalibrate your outlook on success. Now let's set the stage for the next pivotal piece in Rohn's philosophy: environment. Have you heard the saying, "You're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with"? One of Jim Rohn's most famous assertions underscores the power of proximity. If you're surrounded by folks who constantly complain about the economy, avoid challenging themselves, and never bother setting ambitious goals, guess what happens to you? You slowly absorb those low standards as your own. But imagine repositioning yourself into a circle of driven, visionary, success-oriented individuals. The difference in mindset and possibility is palpable, often the single biggest catalyst for quantum leaps in your personal and financial life. So even though we're focusing on strategies to maximize wealth in 2025, I want you to pause and assess your current influences. Decide with unwavering intent that you will only invest your energy into relationships and environments that nurture your growth. When Jim Rohn spoke of the blueprint for money, he emphasized that no plan would work without impeccable discipline and a commitment to consistent action. His approach isn't about get-rich-quick schemes or flash-in-the-pan investment tactics. Instead, it's about constructing a long-term paradigm that supports sustainable wealth. Now, if you're thinking this sounds daunting, remember that success is cumulative. Every small productive habit you adopt today compounds over time. If you're waking up 15 minutes earlier each morning to read or strategize, imagine how that accumulates over the course of a week, month, or year. By the time 2025 arrives, you'll have harnessed the power of these daily increments, transforming them into monumental shifts in your financial landscape. In other words, you have far more control over your future prosperity than you might realize. So how exactly do we line up these puzzle pieces to ensure we're on the best possible trajectory? Here's the core principle you need to wrap your head around. Wealth is not a static or finite resource. It's dynamic, ever-evolving, and accessible to those who align themselves with opportunity. Jim Rohn's methods revolve around developing internal qualities like resilience, curiosity, and a hunger for knowledge that magnetize external resources. Pair that with targeted modern tactics, and you have an unbeatable recipe for success. Don't just take my word for it. Historical data shows that periods of rapid technological advancement often lead to new streams of wealth creation. By 2025, we'll be in the thick of digital transformation that could open doors you can scarcely imagine right now. Whether it's the rise of blockchain technology, the proliferation of remote work, or the emergence of entirely new industries, there's fertile ground for expansion everywhere you look. Now let's zoom into the big reason you're here. The 5 ways to get rich in 2025 that tie seamlessly into Jim Rohn's Money Blueprint. But instead of bullet points, let's weave these methods into the narrative so that you can fully absorb their significance. The first involves understanding value creation. Rohn believed that your level of wealth is directly linked to the value you offer in the marketplace. Whether you're selling products, services, or simply your own skill set, the question becomes, how can you position yourself as indispensable? The key is to identify gaps in the market, sharpen your expertise to fill those gaps, and build a reputation for excellence. By committing to continuous learning, be it formal education, hands-on experience, or mentorship, your intrinsic value skyrockets. Couple that with strategic networking, and you'll soon discover doors opening in areas you never thought possible. Next, we must address leverage, a concept that often sounds intimidating, but is, in fact, the engine that propels many millionaires to the next tier of success. Rohn's take on leverage isn't about exploiting people. It's about multiplying your outcomes through smarter work, not necessarily harder work. This can mean delegating tasks to free up your time for high-level planning, investing in technology that scales your impact, or forming partnerships that expand your reach. By 2025, the tools and systems available for automation and remote collaboration will be more sophisticated than ever. Seize these opportunities early, and you can ride the wave of innovation straight into a new sphere of wealth. But remember, leverage also extends to personal energy. It's about optimizing your mental and physical well-being so that you can consistently operate at your peak. Without clarity and focus, Even the best technologies in the world can't help you. The third area, which seamlessly aligns with the Jim Rohn Blueprint, is multiple income streams. Rohn frequently preached the virtues of diversifying your income. In an era where job security can be uncertain, having just one source of income can be risky. Maybe you maintain a traditional job or career as your base, while also venturing into side projects, an e-commerce store, a consulting gig, or even real estate investments. The idea is to spread your financial foundation across several pillars so that if one collapses, you're not completely wiped out. By 2025, consider how you can integrate digital assets, cryptocurrency, or other emerging avenues into your portfolio. The landscape is broadening, and with that breadth comes not just risk, but immense potential. The bottom line is that multiple streams give you agility, an attribute Jim Rohn believed was integral for enduring prosperity. Let's move on to the all-important concept of long-term vision. In the hustle to gather wealth quickly, it's easy to lose sight of longevity. For Rohn, the real prize was financial independence that lasts, not fleeting riches. This means you need to think about how your current actions and investments will mature over 5, 10, or 20 years. 2025 is closer than we think, but it's also just the starting line for a new financial chapter in your life. Picture yourself in 5 years. What do you want your lifestyle, relationships, and influence to look like? That vision should guide your decisions now, compelling you to invest in assets that appreciate over time, build businesses with scalable models, and nurture relationships that enrich your journey. Keeping your eye on the horizon ensures you don't squander resources on short-term distractions, but instead plant seeds that will continue bearing fruit for decades. Finally, we can't forget about mindset. This is the fifth and arguably most crucial principle in both Rohn's philosophy and any modern adaptation for 2025. If your mind is pre-programmed for scarcity, if you're constantly waiting for the other shoe to drop, you'll inevitably self-sabotage. On the flip side, if you cultivate a mindset of abundance, gratitude, and relentless determination, you'll start spotting opportunities where others see dead ends. Jim Rohn's teachings emphasize that your thoughts shape your actions, and your actions shape your results. So guard your mind carefully. Feed it with powerful ideas through books, podcasts, or mentorship that challenge you to grow. Surround yourself with uplifting people who model the success you aim to achieve. Make your internal dialogue your greatest ally, and you'll find that accumulating wealth becomes a byproduct of your expanded vision. Now, as we continue immersing ourselves in these principles, it's important not to overlook the role that uncertainty plays. The truth is, no plan is foolproof, and unforeseen events can always derail even the best-laid strategies. However, what sets true winners apart is their capacity to adapt. It's not about being perfect from the outset. It's about bouncing back quickly, pivoting wisely, and learning from every stumble. In Jim Rohn's paradigm, failures aren't final. They're stepping stones on your path to mastery. Whether it's a business venture that didn't go as planned or an investment that didn't yield returns, each setback provides valuable data. Armed with that data, you refine your approach. Come 2025, you won't just be financially more robust. You'll be mentally fortified, ready to tackle any challenge with grace and confidence. Here's another angle to consider: the velocity of information. With technological advances accelerating, you have access to a constantly updating pool of data, trends, and insights. Jim Rohn didn't have the internet at his disposal in the way we do now. If he did, imagine how much faster he might have propelled his wealth-building journey. You have that advantage today. Learning doesn't need to be confined to a classroom or a library. You can hop online, immerse yourself in high-quality content, and connect with experts in your field, literally, overnight. This leveling of the playing field means that motivated individuals who once lacked the resources to break into certain industries can now do so. The deciding factor isn't access, it's attitude and readiness to implement what you learn. Don't just be a passive consumer of content. Be someone who actively applies new knowledge to create tangible careers. Rohn repeatedly underlined that success leaves clues. If you want to speed up your journey, study the habits, decisions, and attitudes of those who've already achieved what you seek. This could mean dissecting Warren Buffett's investment philosophy, examining Elon Musk's boundless vision, or even gleaning wisdom from historical giants like Andrew Carnegie or Henry Ford. But note that emulating others doesn't mean copying them blindly. You must integrate their strategies into your own framework, customizing them to fit your unique goals and personality. By 2025, the winners will be those who didn't wait to be told what to do, but took initiative, explored new frontiers, and applied proven methods in innovative ways. Jim Rohn's Money Blueprint is a perfect example of a proven template that you can adapt. It's like having a roadmap that outlines which shortcuts exist and which pitfalls to avoid, allowing you to remain flexible as you chart your unique course. You might be wondering, what if my ambitions don't match my current skill set? Rohn's teachings emphasize the infinite capacity for human growth. We're not static beings locked into predetermined destinies. Instead, we can learn, adapt, and evolve at astonishing rates if we allow ourselves the space to do so. Whether that means taking online courses, seeking out a mentor, or just dedicating an extra hour each day to reading high-quality material in your chosen field, you have the power to close the gap between where you are and where you want to be. Think of yourself as the CEO of your life. CEOs don't wait around for orders. They gather data, weigh risks, make decisions, and adapt strategies. Adopt that mindset, and the path to 2025 wealth becomes less about luck and more about deliberate, calculated planning. In parallel, it's vital to solidify your why. Simon Sinek popularized the idea of starting with why, but Jim Rohn touched on the same principle decades earlier. He believed that a burning desire to achieve something bigger than yourself is what carries you through challenges and obstacles. When your reason for seeking wealth is anchored in something meaningful, perhaps providing better opportunities for your family, contributing to a cause you care about, or realizing a lifelong dream, you gain the emotional fuel that drives consistent action. That sense of purpose differentiates fleeting interest from long-lasting commitment. Because let's face it, discipline can waver if it's founded solely on superficial wants. But if your core motivation resonates deeply, you'll find creative ways to overcome any hurdle, be it a market downturn, an unexpected life event, or self-doubt bubbling to the surface. Let's also tackle the concept of your comfort zone, a topic central to Jim Rohn's philosophies. Growing financially, especially if you're eyeing significant gains by 2025, often involves confronting deeply ingrained habits. Maybe you're used to spending impulsively, or you've avoided learning about complex investments because they intimidate you. Maybe you've always wanted to start a side hustle, but talked yourself out of it every time the possibility arose. To truly embrace Rohn's blueprint, you must be willing to step outside that zone of familiarity, risking embarrassment, failure, or even short-term loss for the sake of long-term gain. This leap of faith can feel terrifying. But remember, no meaningful growth happens without discomfort. Embrace the idea that discomfort is merely a sign that you're challenging yourself in ways that accelerate your progress. Let's talk about accountability. One of the cornerstones of Jim Rohn's approach is the willingness to take full responsibility for your results. It's easy to blame external circumstances, market conditions, a lack of resources, or even your personal background for a lack of progress. But the moment you shift responsibility away from yourself, you give away your power to change your situation. Accountability ensures that when you face a setback, you analyze your role in it, learn, and move on smarter than before. It also keeps you humble enough to recognize that even the best strategies must be constantly refined. Come 2025, if you've upheld a policy of self-accountability, you'll look back and see a series of purposeful adjustments rather than a string of excuses. This shift in perspective transforms your entire life experience because you're no longer a passive bystander. You're the active architect of your destiny. Now let's address the importance of self-care in wealth building. Surprisingly, many aspiring millionaires neglect their physical and emotional well-being in the pursuit of prosperity. Jim Rohn taught that your health is a vital asset. Why? Because a strong, energized body and a calm, focused mind serve as the foundation for peak performance. If you're perpetually exhausted, stressed, and unmotivated, no amount of clever investments or high-level connections can sustain you for the long run. Making time for exercise, balanced nutrition, and relaxation isn't a frivolous indulgence. It's an integral part of your blueprint. By ensuring you're in top form, you optimize your decision-making faculties and prevent burnout, thereby protecting your capacity to generate wealth year after year. Rohn would likely remind you that success isn't an isolated phenomenon. It's a holistic lifestyle that touches every aspect of your being. Another angle that Rohn often emphasized is the art of giving back. While it might seem counterintuitive to focus on philanthropy or community support when you're striving to grow your personal fortune, the reality is that generosity creates a virtuous cycle. By contributing time, resources, or expertise, you tap into a universal law of reciprocity. The more value you put out into the world, the greater the momentum of goodwill you generate. People notice when you operate with integrity and a genuine desire to uplift others, and new opportunities often flow naturally from that. Additionally, giving back keeps you grounded. Even as your income rises and your lifestyle elevates, you remain connected to a sense of purpose that transcends self-interest. This dual focus on personal prosperity and communal well-being can dramatically boost your motivation, fortify your network, and sharpen your entrepreneurial spirit. Let's circle back to the 5 ways to get rich in 2025 and see how they connect in a unified strategy. We've woven them throughout this conversation: creating value, leveraging resources, diversifying income, sustaining a long-term vision, and cultivating an empowering mindset. When integrated properly, these pillars form a self-reinforcing loop. Your enhanced mindset drives you to seek higher value opportunities. As you create more value, you generate additional income streams, which you then leverage through smart delegation, investment, and partnerships. Your long-term vision keeps you aligned with stable growth, preventing rash decisions. All the while, your environment, shaped by accountability, proactive learning, and supportive relationships, fuels consistent progression. It's a synergy that compounds, like the interest on a high-yield savings account, but exponentially more influential. Perhaps you've been wondering how to get started. The best approach aligns perfectly with Jim Rohn's overall philosophy. Take the first step right away, no matter how small. Maybe that means drafting your personal development plan, researching online business models, or scheduling a meeting with a financial advisor. Maybe it's simply cutting out one wasteful habit that drains your time or money. Regardless of the action, doing something tangible is better than waiting for the perfect moment, which seldom arrives. Each step you take gives you valuable feedback, exposing what works, what doesn't, and what adjustments are needed. Over time, these small steps accumulate into leaps. By the time 2025 arrives, you might be astounded by how far you've come. But let's keep the momentum going. As you internalize these concepts, don't let them remain theoretical. Start applying them immediately. Maybe tonight, jot down a list of areas where you can create more value. Tomorrow, investigate one potential new income stream. The day after, conduct a personal audit of your environment. Who are you spending time with? And are they lifting you higher or dragging you down? Each action, each question, and each introspection is a brick in the foundation you're laying for your future self. Jim Rohn's Money Blueprint isn't a magic pill. It's a sophisticated framework that demands your active participation. Approach it with earnest commitment and you'll reap rewards that reach far beyond financial gain, extending into personal fulfillment, meaningful relationships, and a lasting legacy. To wrap up, I want to remind you that wealth building is a journey marked by both trials and triumphs. There will be moments when you question whether the effort is worth it, especially when life throws unexpected challenges your way. In those moments, recall the wisdom of Jim Rohn, who believed that adversity is life's way of testing our resolve. If you keep your vision fixed on 2025 and steadily apply these 5 integrated principles: value, creation, leverage, multiple income streams, long-term vision, and mindset, you won't just dream of riches, you'll manifest them. Embrace the process, let go of limiting beliefs, and step boldly into the future you've envisioned. And trust that every piece of knowledge, every strategy, and every discipline you cultivate today will bloom into opportunity tomorrow. So there you have it, a comprehensive look at Jim Rohn's Money Blueprint and how it applies to 5 game-changing ways to get rich in 2025. It's not about overnight miracles. It's about a deliberate shift in how you live your daily life. Think about opportunity and measure success. If you found value in this conversation, don't keep it to yourself. Spread the word. Because when more people start taking control of their finances, when more people commit to genuine personal development, we collectively elevate the world around us. I hope you'll join me in this vision. After all, the year 2025 is just around the corner, and there's no better time than now to set your future on a trajectory of unstoppable growth. Now, before we conclude, ask yourself one final question. What will you do differently after watching this? Will you keep the insights tucked away in the back of your mind? Or will you transform them into actions that shape your destiny? Jim Rohn once said, "If you don't like how things are, change it." You're not a tree. In other words, you're never stuck, never rooted in place without a choice. You have the power to make big, bold moves that can alter the trajectory of your life. Let this be your wake-up call. Let this be the moment you cross the threshold from passive dreaming into active doing. Your future, your finances, and your fulfillment hang in the balance, waiting for you to take the reins. I want to thank you for staying with me through this detailed breakdown of Jim Rohn's Money Blueprint as it applies to the path to wealth in 2025. If you apply even a fraction of the strategies we've discussed, you'll be well on your way to building an extraordinary life, one marked by not just monetary riches, but also a richness of purpose, growth, and impact. That's the real essence of Rohn's legacy, showing you that success isn't an abstract concept limited to the privileged few, but a tangible reality accessible to anyone willing to learn, adapt, and persevere. Now go out there and make your financial dreams a living, breathing testament to the power of personal transformation.